And what I'm going to be skeptical about is you said that you have a Twitter account and Facebook account. I have a Twitter account and a Facebook account. And I'm wondering, what do we offer that people can't get anywhere else? You know, I mean, we've been talking about what we try to do and what we see as our role, but are we really necessary? I mean, in the world where people can speak to each other directly, what do they need mediation for? Or should we just get out of the way?
I think you gave yourself the answer a few minutes before, because we are reliable. The IHE is reliable. I think Euronews is reliable as well. And so coming to the Euronews account, they know that they will communicate with people who are watching Euronews, referring to the same stories, to the same reliable stories, and which are valid for themselves. So I think the fact that the media have a brand, our brand is what it is. It is a recognized channel. In addition to that, I should say that we are in the range of the serious news channel. We are not at all in the infotainment industry. We are in the opposite of that. Our editorial line is a public service editorial line. We have a public remit, and so in this sense, it means that all our stories refer to something which is of general interest. So I think it's important for the education world to know that what is presented is not only appearance or imagination. It is a real thing. It exists, and you can use that content for your own purpose.
So our capital, in a sense, is our reputation for reliability. Do we offer anything else, Luc?
Nothing to add about reliability. I think it is the main question for us, and it is the challenge to keep reliability even when we have to confront with politicians, for example. And I think it's the main question. For Le Monde, we try to keep the best journalist for educational issues, and I think it's the best answer to have a special team, and they produced this supplement for the WISE Summit. And the idea for us is to offer to our readers the best news and the best quality. And I think reliability, you said, I would say quality is the best answer for medias in our current world.
Okay, so we have reliability, we have quality. I'm not sure that's still going to keep us in business. Is there anything else we have to offer, Sunit?
Well, I agree with Philippe and Luc, but I would add one more thing. In addition to reliability, we provide scale. For example, in the Teach India initiatives of 2008 and 2009, what we found was that we have a lot of poor children in the country who are not getting educated. In addition, most of the readers of Times of India tend to be of the middle and upper income classes. You have housewives, you have working professionals who have free time in the evening and on weekends. You have retired people who want to contribute to society. What we did is we tied up with a lot of NGOs, and we launched this campaign whereby we were able to place 100,000 of our readers as teacher volunteers with these NGOs to go to the Jhuggi Jhopri or slum clusters and teach students. We did a follow-up campaign in 2009 because there were some dropouts of teachers, and we were able to place another 13,000 teachers. So yes, individuals can also do that, but a large media house can contribute scale to the whole effort.
Okay, so reliability, and also we have campaigning. We have the fact that we can mobilize people, we can motivate people. But are there pitfalls? Are there things that, particularly about education, that make it an area that can be difficult for journalists? I'm going to go this way around the table again and ask you what you find difficult, and I'm going to begin with a confession. I came to education, my background in journalism is as an investigative journalist. So the déformation professionnelle of an investigative journalist is to be beyond skeptical. And I found it very difficult to adjust to covering a field where, in fact, most of the people you meet mean well. And you sort of have to, so you have to dial back a bit, not on your skepticism, but on your assessment of their motivation. And you sometimes have to give people more of a chance for their own motivations and their own goals to emerge than I was used to. So that I found that difficult about education. Is there something about the area that you feel is particularly challenging for a journalist?
Well, firstly, see, the Times of India, as a paper, what we've observed is that most publications worldwide focus on the 5 Ds, on negative news: death, decay, destruction, disease, disaster. That's not the Times of India policy. I mean, if you want, India's made tremendous progress in the last 2 decades, but there's still a lot of poverty. The Times of India likes to give hope and optimism. So in a field like education, where so many parties are doing such good work, we like to highlight that. Having said that, yes, we do run into problems. For example, I must confess that when we ran Teach India, we, because of the very difficult conditions in which our volunteer readers had to teach, we had a 90% dropout of teachers within 3 months and a 97% dropout at the end of 12 months. So we had to do a refresher, fill up in 2009. And then later we totally rejigged the concept where we started putting our own money to teach the underprivileged youth. So,
Luc, what do you feel has been a particular challenge for Le Monde in education?
I don't think that education is difficult for journalists. I think it's quite common. But the main difficulties would be the fact that if you want to understand education, you have to have knowledge in history. For example, in France, it's very important to understand the current debates around education, because our system is a centralized system, and it's because history of the French Revolution. So I believe history is very important to understand the French debates around education. I think economical issues are quite important, for example, for the higher education debates, because we are in a world of competition, and it is economical competition. I think that sociology is really important to understand education. So I would say journalism in education is not so difficult, but you have to have a global approach with a psychological approach. For example, when you talk about primary schools, for example. So I would say it is the main question is, for a journalist, can he or she complete this whole global vision about education?
Philippe.
I think for mass media like Euronews, I'm not a journalist myself, but what I hear from my journalists is that the most difficult is maybe to go down from the educators to educated, not to limit the message to a small niche of educators, of professors and teachers who have, of course, professional interest in education, but to reach a larger audience of youngsters, pupils, students who are playing their life in the education system now, and to raise their interest. So to give some stories which are of interest for a larger audience. And I would say from a TV point of view, you may know that in the media world, TV is more or less associated to the ancient world, whereas social networks are associated to the modern world, because youngsters don't watch TV anymore. Now they are playing with their mobile, going to Facebook and whatever it is. So for us as a TV channel, it is a way also to reach a population which is already using largely the social media, and to raise their interest in a field which is of utmost interest to them now. So it's a way of developing our channel through this program to a new audience, to a younger audience, to refresh, I would say, the profile of our audience with young viewers.